Today's plan is to get started on a little body work with some body filler. First thing I'm going to do is rough up the epoxy sealer with some 80 grain sandpaper. The epoxy will clog up the sandpaper, but you know, that's okay. We'll just change it a couple times. We just need to rough it up to accept the Bondo. And I'm going to do the car. I'm going to try to do the car in 5 areas. Front and back, each side would be 4. And then the roof will be 1. And that'll be what I do today, the entire roof. So hang in there and let's get started. Time to change it. That's the epoxy. The filler won't do that, or the primer. Just the epoxy sealer. Time to change it. Fresh. Gummed up, gotta replace it. Do a little hammer and hand hammering. There was a little bit of a rough spot here on the roof. Had to do a little hammer and dolly. Actually, I started it yesterday, but I just finished it now. Looks like it came out pretty good. It's pretty even. All right, let's get to cleaning it down with some acetone and see how the body work goes on there. I'm going to do full panel skim coat. A little acetone on a rag. Wipe it down.
Manufacturer career electrical drawings and have expertise in large hydraulic systems. They want you on their team as a maintenance technician. They draw competitive hourly rates based on your knowledge, plus shift differentials for all shifts. And that's not all. They offer a comprehensive benefits package. Elevating your career with Olema. Located just off I-81 in Clark Summit. Apply today at olema.com/careers. That's ALLEI.com/careers.
Savings all month at Vintage Infinity during our Red, White, and New sales event. Special shipments.
Should wear a glove. You don't want that acetone on your skin. Okay, this is what we're using today. Eastwood's Contour Premium Body Filler. It's very, very fluidy, so I think it should spread very nice. And I'm going to put a little bit on our mixer and then have at it. I think that's enough to start. I don't know how this stuff is. I want to work with it, but I think it's going to be good. Now, this should be 50-to-1 is what they always say, but everybody guesses it. I have seen a couple people who actually weigh it out. I think we'll be all right guesstimating. And this is Eastwood hardener. You got to knead it up a little first. And they suggest you use their hardener with their project. I think all companies would suggest that. And then you put a line across. I'm not putting a very big line because I want to try to get a little spreading time out of this. I don't know how it's going to go. Okay, now let's mix it up. To get my mixer. Okay, I'm going to use a metal spreader too. It's the first I've ever done that. I mix it good and thorough. You don't want to go round because that causes air. You want to push the air out, flatten it down. Get it all spread equally. You don't want to do that either, that causes air. Just want to fold it over itself. Like you're making a cake or something. All right, now we're going to the car. Huh. Okay, it's spread very nice. It seems I'm going to have time to play with it a little bit too. Kind of as smooth as possible, because if you leave big lumps, that's what's hard about sanding them off. On those tricky, you gotta know when to stop. It's almost to that point. Starting to get like cottage cheese. Time to quit on it. Get it as smooth as you can. Less sanding. Okay, take a little break and mix up another batch. One thing in between, want to make sure your applicator is clean, because if you leave little things like that on there, they could fall on your new surface once you start leaving the next stuff. And then you're dragging little hard bits around, and it makes it almost impossible to get a nice, very flat surface because you're dragging dirt through your Bondo. In this case, I guess filler putty. It's not Bondo, it's a brand name. Hey, want that good and clean. Get ready to mix up another batch. Time to go over it with some 120 on the door block. A little bit with the DA now, or the orbital sander, I guess you would say. Okay, we're gonna wipe it down, clean it good, wipe it a couple times, and then put the urethane primer on it. Again, roll on. High bill urethane. Hit the bottom, makes the catalyst change with the paint, just like coming out of a spray gun. Give it a good mix, and we're going to spray the roof with this. One thing I will say, it's tough on the finger. One thing I will say, the can is drippy. And, you know, it gets your finger holding that thing down. But, you know, the drips and stuff don't matter because it's going to be guy coated and gone over again that way. And then when I'm finally happy with it, I've been using the can now. This is a whole new system to me, so I'm trying to figure it out. But I think when I'm done, I'll use the roll-on because the cans could get expensive. The whole deal is expensive. But for now, I'm using the can. I think when I'm done with the whole overall body, I'll go back to the brush at the roll-on, and then that'll be the finished coat, will be a roll-on after all the guy coating.